Hello, hello. You're listening to the Better Workday podcast with me, Niamh Moynihan. Have you heard of the term Stagility? I came across this a few months back, and honestly, at the start, I thought it was just another buzzword. And then I took a closer look and I decided that actually it's something that we need to be talking about. So in this episode, I'm going to share briefly what it is and some ideas around it, and also obviously how you can learn more about it. So welcome back to the podcast, and this week I'm talking about Stagility, and I came across this term in the 2025 Global Human Capital Trends report by Deloitte Insights. Now, this was actually published a couple of months back, I think back in March, but thank you to the wonderful LinkedIn newsfeed. One of the images from the report popped up in front of me one day and I thought, oh my God, I need to talk about this. So before I go any further, yes, I will put the link to where you can get this information in the show notes, or obviously you can just Google 2025 Global Human Capital Trends Deloitte Insights and you'll find it. So the image that made me think I need to talk about this was this idea where they had a picture with the title Navigating the Tensions, where you need to find balance to create new anchors for work and workers. Grant. And they list a couple of kind of tensions, areas of tension in the workplace. And one of them was highlighted, and it was that kind of tension between the desire for agility and stability. And actually the other one that they highlighted was the desire to focus on potential versus predictability, which I thought was really interesting as well. But anyway, this kind of tension between agility and stability is where they came up with the word Stagility. Very creative, lads. But no, I thought it was good. And the reason that they wanted to kind of focus on it was apparently, based on their research, 75% of the workers that they surveyed stated that they're hoping for greater stability in work in the future. And then just 19% of business executives or leaders believed that the traditional ways of working or the way that things work at the moment are best suited to create value for workers and the organisation. And 85% of them, I'm literally reading this from the report, by the way, said that the organisations need to create more agile ways of organising work to swiftly adapt to market changes. And I was like, oh my God, talk about two groups being on completely different pages. And when I kind of closed the report down and had to think about it, I was like, of course, I'm seeing this everywhere across different sectors, different size teams, different maturity of teams, where, you know, the team are going, I just want things to stay the same. I just want to be able to finish this project without something changing. I just want to settle into this team without being moved to a new team. I just want to get used to this job before I'm asked to take on a new job. You know, it's this desire for just things to be a little bit constant. And look, to be honest, I think that's echoed or it's amplified because there's a lot of change happening, maybe in people's personal lives and then, you know, globally as well. So that all adds to it. But in the workplace, people just are like, just let me do this one thing, please, for a little bit before you change things again. And then the leaders I'm talking to are like, yeah, we need to be agile. We need resilience. We need to move forward. We're planning this change and that change. And yeah, basically what was said in that report is really being reflected, definitely in companies that I'm talking to. And look, I talk to all sorts, all lovely companies, by the way, of course, because they're drawn to working with somebody who is interested in productivity and well-being. So it's good. But yet the challenge is there. And look, that report does look at different things that people need to focus on. You know, they talk about the sources and this idea of these new anchors. That's kind of this idea, like instead of, you know, find a balance to create new anchors. And I just thought that was a bit fluffy, but I did like the idea of finding a way through this, right? So if we're trying to be agile, but people are craving stability, how can we build a bridge between those? How can we make that work? And for me, I think the most important thing has to be communication and support. So in this report, they talk about lots of other things, which I'll let you read if you're interested. But for me, it has to be being able to talk to each other. That is, I mean, up, down, across the organisation. You know, it can't just be one-way communication. It has to be in all directions, multi-directional communication. And by communication, I mean people are talking and sharing information, but also people are listening. If the ground is moving beneath you, you have to feel that maybe one source of stability is trust that you would be communicated to, right? So if the work is changing, at least the level of communication can stay the same. If the work is changing, the support you get from your team or your manager can stay the same. If the work is changing, your daily routine, your coffee break, your lunch break can stay the same. If your work is changing, maybe your career path may be changing also, but maybe the level of support you get in that path stays the same, i.e. your reviews are still taking place, you're still getting, your skills assessed, and you're still being given training opportunities. And so I think, to be quite honest with you, like, the change isn't going to stop. And it's about focusing on what's changing, yes, but what's staying the same. Like, what is actually there as a solid foundation that employees can stand on with their 2 feet and say, okay, we've got this, the ground is solid beneath me. And I think that is really, really, really important. And so if you are somebody who is part of a team and you're going through a lot of change, I feel it's a good conversation to have with your colleagues first, and with your manager if that's needed. More importantly, if you're a manager, it's time to kind of take a step back and look at this, because let me ask you this, especially if you're a manager, you're probably feeling it too, right? And this is one of the things I see a lot, right? So let's say there's a team, they're going through a lot of change and they want stability. The manager is pushing for Agile and adapting new technology, adapting AI and moving into all these new initiatives and all the rest of it. And the manager is like the swan. So on the surface, they're like, we are gliding forward, we are making the change. But underneath, they're panicking just as much as everyone else. Underneath, they're thinking, oh my God, will my job be gone when this project is finished? Where will I be moved to next? Am I still going to have the same relationships? Am I going to get any annual leave this year? So they're panicking under the water, but they're not showing that. Okay, they're not showing the reality of their situation. And there's a reason for that. And I respect the reason that there are some things that you share and some things that you keep to yourself. But all I'll say to you is, if you're a manager and you're feeling like that, sure, your team are probably feeling that way too. So maybe a chat about that would be good. This is a very, very short episode. There's not too much more I want to say in it because I want you to talk about it. I want you to go and download that report if this resonated with you at all, and have a conversation and then make a decision around what you can do about it if something needs to be done. By the way, when you go to that, then you'll see the other kind of tensions that they mentioned, and they're also very, very interesting. But this is the one that stood out to me. And look, as always, especially with this one, I'd love to know if you've heard of it before. And if you'd already started addressing it, that would be great to know. But kind of more importantly, if this is something that you needed to hear and if it's information that's helpful to you this week, please let me know. Connect with me on LinkedIn, drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so look, that's it from me. As always, if you found this episode helpful, please share this with a friend, a colleague, somebody in another team, another company that you think would find it helpful. You can find all the details in the show notes, as I said, including the link to the report. You can let me know if you found this helpful by leaving a rating or a review and subscribing to the podcast. That helps me reach more people and help more people to create a better workday. And yeah, look, as I said already, if you have any questions, always just get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, folks, that's it from me. Until next time, stay well and have a better workday.